Hi, I'm Ann Coren. That's pronounced Coren, like corn on the cob. And as I tell my students, you can make all the corny jokes you'd like about my name as long as I get to do the same thing about yours as I call roll on the first day and I'm stumbling over their multinational names. I'm going to back up a minute. Hi, I'm Ann Coren. I'm a chemistry teacher. Pretend you're at a cocktail party. I introduce myself that way, and you slowly back away, going to get a glass of wine. I'm sure many of you in the audience have experienced that. As soon as you say that your passion is science, you have this definite conversation killer at any cocktail party. It's really a high honor for me to be part of this panel. I'd like to thank all of the people on the panel and those who put together this event for inviting me to participate and for giving me the opportunity to speak for my peers. Mike Sezzi and Nancy Shapiro did something truly wonderful when they began the VIP K-16 grant, bringing so many people to form professional networks. And Dr. Augustine documents in great detail examples of all the problems leading to our concern about U.S. loss of technological leadership. What I hope will come out of this symposium is seeds of change, ideas for solving these very problems. In regards to his question of which came first, the chicken or the egg, well, eggs were laid by dinosaurs. They obviously came first. Chickens evolved as the surviving descendants of the dinosaurs. So then we can ask ourselves, what's going to happen to the U.S.'s technological leadership? Well, we have the embryo of success in our hands. Are we going to go extinct, or are we going to evolve? That becomes the question. Even more dear to my heart, especially because it's Earth Day, than my nation's technological leadership is the life of our planet, the very life of our planet. We're a leading nation right now in pollutants. Are we going to continue to destroy our home world due to scientific ignorance? We have an opportunity here to reverse a trend bigger than leadership. In my opinion, it's time for innovative thinking of a depth that has never before happened in education. Education kind of evolved through old traditions. We now have the beginnings of a research base on how humans learn science, clearly documented in such works as the National Academy's report on how students learn. We have the opportunity to do away with the antiquated Carnegie units, to do true STEM education. And as I talk, I'm taking on a definition of STEM that may be somewhat different than the definitions that I've heard being thrown around the room today. I'm hearing STEM from many people as business as usual in separate disciplines, but we're just going to enhance each discipline. And I'm thinking of STEM as something very integrated, where the disciplines work together for a whole concept that doesn't now exist in the public school system. We also heard a fabulous talk last night from Yuri Treisman highlighting his work reaching at-risk populations. If we can incorporate his work into our planning, it really gives me great hope for effective change of the public understanding of what science is, allowing us to move even further ahead more rapidly. I really have to thank Dr. Treisman for asking the teachers. I think that's the most effective thing of what you've done. I think as I've looked around the audience, I count 5 teachers that I'm aware of. I'd like to see more teachers participating in this change. I've shared the talk I'm giving with many of my teaching peers, getting their feedback, expressing my trepidation about speaking before such a distinguished group of people, and the possible consequences to my career. And all of them said that I should go ahead with it, that what I have written in this paper needs to be said and needs to be heard. I credit the VIP K-16 grant for making me the master teacher that has given me the confidence to stand before this group. So I've got a lot of ideas, but here's 3 that I'll go with for today. First of all, the time is ripe for a revolution. We've got to do it now. We've got to start it now. Rising above the gathering storm has set the stage. But really, why change? Because A, training teachers for STEM and putting them in the current public school structure is self-defeating. B, teachers need No, they must have time for reflection and teamwork. C, we need to put decision-making power in the hands of the expert practitioners who are best qualified to know how to do the job. Point 2, we need to change the structure of our assessments. Current high school assessment tests do not foster innovative, creative thought. And 3, we need new, more reliable funding sources for education. My use of the word revolution, as it means to change society rather than to just circle another object, derives from Copernicus and Galileo, as their work drove the change in society by changing the public's conceptual understanding, from the geocentric universe to the heliocentric universe. It'll take the same vision, courage, and scientific data to change the structure of our public schools, which are so deeply embedded in our culture. On my sabbatical year as an Albert Einstein Distinguished Educator Fellow at NASA, I worked alongside scientists whose backgrounds were very complex. A fellow next door to me was a biogeochemist. He was documenting such things as ocean acidification and the resultant death of the coral reefs. I went back from this experience to my high school, where biology, chemistry, physics, and earth science are taught in separate classrooms. Math isn't even in the same wing of the building. Technology is teaching the students how to create PowerPoint presentations, and engineering doesn't exist at all. All the teachers I know use examples in our instruction that bring the sciences together, but it's not on the test. As it stands now, no matter how many new educators you recruit or how well you train them, they cannot be innovative when they get on the job. As an analogy, it's just as though you trained a whole new cadre of crack pilots on an innovative new aircraft, promising to reward them with fabulous jobs. And then what you give them is jobs shoveling coal on a steam engine under regulations that'll get them fired if they try to make the trains fly or even get off the tracks. So let's look at the time issues. With all of the new regulations, a teacher's job cannot be done in a 40-hour work week or even a 60-hour work week. As an example, if it takes a student an hour to write a high school lab report, at top speed, I can grade it in 5 minutes. If I have 5 classes of 30 students each, and next year I'm going to have 34 students each if I'm lucky with the budget cuts, I'll have 150 students. 5 minutes times 150 students is 750 minutes, which equals 12.5 hours of work. I'm required to enter at least 3 grades per week. That's the traditional teacher's work. But as you know, I must also prepare well-considered, innovative lessons based on student data, with objectives, essential questions, activators, summarizers, formative and summative assessments, call parents, fill out numerous forms, and do hall duty. Well, you get the picture. Did I mention that I have a 45-minute planning period each day? And that when I suggested that my planning period be scheduled at the same time as the physics teacher so we could do some collaborative work, I was told that it was absolutely impossible. Couldn't happen. Wasn't going to happen. So I suggest that we restructure the teacher's job. We need to give many tasks to supporting staff, such as Xeroxing papers and calling parents of absentee students and things like that. Let the teachers focus on improving instruction rather than standing at the copy machine. Time is not just an issue for teachers, but for everyone in the public schools. Being aware that grants would soon be available to create innovative STEM programs, and having been trained on my fellowship to write grants, I sought permission in my school to seek funding to help out our at-risk 9th graders. My request fell on deaf ears, not because of lack of interest, but lack of time. I started at my department chair and went to each individual, cranking it up the line all the way to the grants office, and literally got replies like, well, I'll get back to you later, next month. And of course it hasn't happened yet, and it's the end of the school year.